Found footage has had some pretty decent highs and a lot of lows since 1999, but with the new Blair Witch movie, it's like you're traveling back in time to unite all the things that suck about found footage movies. When the original Blair Witch Project was released in 1999, it was applauded by critics as being the most original horror movie in years. It kicked off like a found footage movie revolution, inspiring a bunch of other horror movies. Movies like Paranormal Activity, Wreck, and VHS became huge franchises. One of my favorite found footage movies, called Creep, is not only filmed excellently, but it's a really cool character study full of twists and turns that are actually interesting. Whether you love it or hate it, there are some really decent movies in the found footage genre. Fast forward to 2016, do you think the new Blair Witch movie could be a revolution for found footage? Give us something new, maybe? Absolutely not. This movie takes every cliche, annoying, stereotypical aspect of a bad found footage movie, turns it up to 11, and clinches the award for shakiest camera in a movie. Blair Witch makes the Jason Bourne movies look like they were filmed with a Steadicam. This is made even worse when we find out the group heading into the woods is bringing a bunch of camera gear because the character of Lisa wants to film it for a documentary class project. There's a group of 6 that head into the woods with earpiece cameras, DSLRs, night vision cameras they strap to trees, even a freaking drone, yet they couldn't hold the camera steady to save their lives. I get the handheld nature of found footage movies is what makes it feel subjective, and can make you feel like this is real and you're experiencing exactly what the characters feel, but the way Blair Witch is filmed is gratuitous and downright messy. The plot takes place some years after the original when the character James sees a video that was found in the woods by the characters Talia and Lane. James thinks the footage is from his sister who was lost and never found in the woods. He leaves with some friends to try and locate the cabin and get some answers as to what happened to her. I give a lot of props to the advertising for this movie. The poster is cool, and somehow they got Adam Wingard to direct this, which piqued my interest. Adam Wingard directed You're Next, which I really enjoyed. He directed the overarching story of VHS and the VHS 2 short where the guy gets the robotic eye, which was a pretty cool concept. I don't know what happened because I absolutely hated the approach of the Blair Witch. The movie doesn't establish a creepy atmosphere whatsoever until the last 10 minutes that take place in a thunderstorm at the cabin in the woods from the first movie. Instead, 90% of this movie is shaky, 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 shaky camera, shaky camera, shaky camera. Shaky, 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 shaky camera, shaky camera. Then silence. James, did you hear that? It's not interesting, it's not memorable, it's not visual, and it sure as hell isn't good horror. On that note of downright cliche filmmaking to the max, the black character dies first again. They make fun of this in Scary Movie because it's so ridiculous in horror movies. Now, I don't care who the character is, I just want to see an interesting kill for whoever's gonna die first. For the first kill of a horror movie, make it interesting, set the tone, make us fear the witch. But the first kill isn't interesting. Instead, we get Peter running, tripping, and then a tree falls on him. That's freaking bad, right? The only credit I will give Blair Witch is that it gets mildly interesting at the end when we finally get a glimpse of the Blair Witch. So what does she look like? Well, I don't know exactly because you barely see her. Honestly, it kind of looked like the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, maybe with a shoddy wig on. Now, I very much support that a lot of times less is more. Movies like Jaws or the original Alien are so effective with their creatures because you get glimpses of the monster before the big climactic reveal in the third act. There's not enough tension or atmosphere built up for the Blair Witch as a character because everything is just loud noises until the ending scene in the cabin. The atmosphere at the end is cool, and the characters get trapped in this thunderstorm, they're stalked by the witch in the cabin, but it's not enough to save this movie. My expectations weren't high for Blair Witch, but I wanted to be proved wrong and learn more about the witch lore in an interesting way. Unfortunately, Blair Witch is filmed exactly like the original Blair Witch Project and comes off as extremely generic. For this kind of movie to be made 17 years later, after there have been so many found footage successes since 1999, is just a huge disappointment. Thank you so much for watching this Ghouls, Guts, and Gore Saw It for Blair Witch. Earlier this week, we released a video on Kevin Smith's new flick Yoga Hosers, which was a ton of fun. Later this week, we'll be talking about Rob Zombie's new movie 31, which by all accounts is going to be one hell of a ride. We don't only talk movies. Check out some of our other videos where we went to Scare LA and Guillermo del Toro's At Home with Monsters exhibit in LA, which was really incredible. Don't forget to click subscribe, like this video, and watch more Gore with us. Stay horrible, everyone.